I'm Dr. Joanette, your longevity expert, and today we are eating the rainbow, not in a salad, but in a delicious fall comfort food bowl. It is a rainbow of vegetables that are loaded with protein, fiber, and antioxidants, all on top of a bed of a blend of delicious wild rice. It is fall comfort food done right. So let's get cooking. To get started, I have preheated my oven to 425 degrees, and we are going to roast up the vegetables. However, you want to start with cooking your wild rice blend. Whatever wild rice blend you've chosen, use a vegetable broth to cook the wild rice blend according to the package directions. It takes about an hour to cook, so get that started and get that cooking first. I've pre-cooked this because when you take rice and cook it and then you chill it overnight, it decreases the amount of carbohydrate content in it. When you cook the rice, the starches in them, the carbohydrates, become kind of gelatinous, and then as they cool, they rearrange and form a different crystalline structure within the rice, making it less digestible. It becomes what's called a resistant starch. That is great because you may not want that extra carbohydrates. However, the good, healthy bacteria in your gut are like, delish, send us all of that resistant starch because that's what we need to thrive. You may not need it so much, but those bacteria do. So share it with them instead of spiking your blood sugar. Get that rice cooking, and while that rice is cooking, if you have a chance, cook it the day before and let it chill overnight. The next thing you're going to do is get going on your roasted vegetables. And I've got a variety of fall vegetables here. I have purple sweet potatoes and butternut squash, both from the garden, yum. Some Brussels sprouts, organic, from the market. Cauliflower, organic, also from the market. The garden vegetables are always organic because I only grow organic. I'm going to set the roasted red onions aside because I like to just do them a little bit separately. Sprinkle it with a nice generous amount of olive oil and also some of my Mediterranean seasoning. If you go to my website, Grow with Dr. Joanette, link down below, you will find a link to the recipe for my I call it also my longevity mix seasoning. It is a mixture of all kinds of longevity seasonings, and a lot of Mediterranean seasonings are longevity seasonings as well. It's got some extra longevity seasonings in it in addition to your traditional Mediterranean seasonings. Delicious. And you are going to want to mix that all up together. Once that's all mixed, it is ready to go onto your baking sheet. This recipe here is for 2 bowls, and they're large bowls. You could probably get 3 out of it almost. But if you want to make it for 4 or 5, then double the recipe. In fact, if you go to my website, growwithdrjoanette.com, the recipe there is double of what I'm making here today. Because I'm making this for Farmer Fred and myself for dinner tonight. And I am going to now add my red onions, and we're giving it a sprinkle of salt, a little sprinkle of pepper, and a little bit more olive oil, especially on those onions there. I like to try to get them a little bit of olive oil on them, and it is ready to put right into that oven. 425 degrees, and we're gonna cook them. We're gonna check them in about 15 minutes to see how they're coming along. It depends upon how big your vegetables are cut, but anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. So start checking around 15 minutes though. When you check at that 15-minute mark, you may want to stir them around a bit, flip them over so they get browned on both sides nicely. And while they are baking, we're gonna make our balsamic vinaigrette dressing. This is amazing. It is really what makes that dish. I don't know, everything just comes together so great. So for that, we're gonna need some balsamic glaze. In this case, it is 25-year barrel-aged balsamic vinegar, which tastes like balsamic glaze, but it doesn't have any added sugars, which makes it even more delicious. Dijon mustard and some finely minced garlic, and We're gonna also need some finely diced figs. I have here 2 small black mission figs. You can also use the brown Turkish figs. Both of them work equally well. And I'm adding some of that delicious, amazing balsamic glaze, some olive oil. That looks like more garlic than I want. I'm gonna add not quite all that garlic. We're going light on the garlic today. And some Dijon mustard. A whisk to whisk it all up. Set that aside. We want to also kind of wilt our kale. That kale's gonna go on top. Add a little bit of olive oil to it, little salt, and then you just kind of massage it until it kind of wilts and it gets a little darker. We're gonna set those 2 aside, get our roasted vegetables out of the oven. We are ready to construct our fall comfort bowl. I've heated up the rice. Once it's been chilled in the refrigerator overnight, you can go ahead and heat it up. It still retains those resistant starch properties. I'm gonna add about half of these veggies. And on top of that, you're going to set that aside, put about half of that kale. We started with a cup of kale, so we're gonna be putting about a half a cup on it. Sprinkle it with some sunflower seeds, little extra protein, little extra crunch. Delish. Lastly, a little drizzle of that balsamic vinaigrette. We are ready to give it a try. That is fall comfort food in a bowl. Delicious, insanely satisfying, and you know what? It is perfect for weeknight prep. So save this recipe for your next prep day and enjoy it during the week. Also, share it with a friend that loves cozy, comfort fall food. Is this recipe really low carb? Or will it spike your glucose? I have a continuous glucose monitor that I wear. Let's find out and take a look at the graphs, what my sugar was when I ate this bowl, and then 2 hours later. See what happened to my blood sugar when I enjoyed this delicious, cozy, healthy, nutritious fall bowl. In this first graph, I ate a serving of this recipe after I had chilled the rice overnight. As you can see from the graph, my glucose began at 93, did increase up to 122, and then returned to 91. However, let's contrast that with the same amount when the rice was not chilled overnight. My glucose again began at 92, spiked all the way up to 166, and then returned to 91. The big takeaway here is if you want to enjoy rice on a ketogenic diet, make sure that you chill it overnight, because if it is not chilled overnight, it will definitely spike your sugar well out of the ketogenic range. For that full recipe, go to my website, growwithdrjoanette.com, and we'll see you next time on the Dr. Joanette channel for more delicious, healthy, nutritious recipes that are also low in carbohydrates.